Hello, everybody. This is Love Mechanics on Rapid Dating Radio. Welcome back to my show. I'm so excited. We've been getting thousands of emails from all over the country and the world, actually. People have been listening to my show. And every week, I try and feature some exciting thing. We're here talking about love, talking about sex, talking about dating. And I am the president of Rapid Dating, author of Love Mechanics. And I've been in this business, crazy business, for almost 20 years now, back east and here in Los Angeles, California. And you can email me at Renee, R-E-N-E-E, at lovemechanics.com with your challenges, problems, or if you'd like to be a guest, email me and let me know what you'd like to talk about. Most people like to talk about love, dating challenges, and of course, everybody's favorite, sex. And today on the show here at Rapid Dating Radio, we're going to be interviewing the author of Laws of the Bedroom, What Men Need to Know About Sex and Pleasing a Woman. All you ladies out there are going to love it because Bart Smith is here. It's the #1 solution to satisfying a woman forever. So if you're somebody listening to the show, you can always save it on your iPod, let your boyfriend listen to it, or you can just put it up, save the MP3 if you'd like, and pass on the love, because we got Bart Smith. So don't go anywhere, and if you want to email us some questions for Bart, please do so at Renee at lovemechanics.com, and we'll make sure those questions get to the Bart man, Bart Smith, the author of Laws of the Bedroom. People are pulling up to listen to us talk here, and we're very excited. So every man wants, whatever you want to know about sex and pleasing a woman is going to happen here on our podcast. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Love Mechanics with Renee Piane. Welcome back to Love Mechanics. Here's Renee Piane.
So we're back here. This is Renee Piane, your host of Love Mechanics, giving you power tools, information, and lots of fun people. I've been interviewing some really cool people, and today I have a man here who is very suave, very handsome. His name is Bart Smith, and he is the author of Laws of the Bedroom, What Men Need to Know About Sex and Pleasing a Woman. And you know, recently Bart has actually sat on my panels, because I do Secrets into the Minds of Men, and he comes and talks to the women about how men feel and the pressures of sex. And Bart wrote, this book is really pretty thick. Let's welcome Bart first. Bart, how are you doing today?
I'm just doing awesome.
Yeah?
Thank you. Yes.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, and I went into the doctor today for my raspy voice, and apparently I talk too much. And I was reading through your book, and you have, you have everything in here about grooming, better sex, the top qualities all men look for, and all women look for in a man. There's so much information. It's chock full of stuff. But it's not only about sex; it's about treating women well. Is that right? So talk about a little bit about the book.
Absolutely. You could go buy a book on 101 positions. You don't have time to do 101 positions, and we're missing the mark. The mark is we're dealing with a woman, and a woman is completely different from a man.
Really? Are we that much different?
Well, let me look. Oh, yeah, I think we are. And women, they operate on a different level of consciousness, emotion than men do. Men, we're all visual, we're instant gratification. We're like, okay, there it is, boom, we did it, good. Okay, but a woman, she's more methodic in her ways of warming her body up so that her oven and engines can enjoy the process of sex a lot deeper and with true satisfaction. Yeah. So Laws of the Bedroom is simply a book of my personal thoughts, philosophies, rituals, attitudes, things that I deem them laws, because that helps us work towards something with a positive result. If you do these things, the end result is positive for yourself as the man and for her as well.
Well, I know myself. In this dating world, I own Rapid Dating. People want things fast, okay? There's Tom Likas, there's all these books out on how to get a woman in bed right away. If a woman doesn't give you a blowjob on the third date, forget it. If you're not, you shouldn't have to pay for dates, you shouldn't be a gentleman, you should treat her bad, and then you're going to get more booty. So what is your philosophy on how to treat women to make them feel this special way that the Laws of the Bedroom is supposed to teach men? What is your philosophy?
All right, well, number one, it's interesting because all these books help you focus on women, plural. Okay, I don't know anyone that's in a relationship where it's a man and women. No. ultimately we want to get married. Ultimately we want to have a special partner in our life that shares our life. That's a woman. That's singular. Okay. So, number one, laws of the bedroom helps with the you're getting closer to the woman that you want to be with or are with right now or want to be with in the future when you want to ask that gal out across the room or, that dance club or something like that. But the point is this also, those books objectify women and they treat them like objects of pleasure. And us men, we too are objects of pleasure when we're in the bedroom with our honey and each of us are, loving each other's parts, etc. But I tell you what, those kinds of books are missing a lot of the point. Sex is like fire, okay? It can warm you or it can burn you. And when you go into asking for sex too soon, wanting too much, why don't you just buy the presents for Christmas and stick them under the tree and not wrap them and just say, oh, honey, by the way, that's what I got you over there. Doesn't that look good? Okay, you take away all the surprise and element of getting to know you in the process. Besides, you don't even know if if you want to be with this woman or not, and there you are getting her unclothed.
Well, this is funny. He's talking about rushing. So many people, even at my events, they want things fast, they want them now, and they want to know if it's going to work out. There is not one way that a woman, like you say, she needs to be warmed up like an engine, and then she'll purr, believe me, if you know what you're doing. And I think that a lot of men feel a pressure in society to do things rapidly, that they have to impress their friends, that men compete on how many women they have slept with or have screwed or whatever, like the whole 9 yards. But from your perspective, do you think in sex and society today that people are learning from anywhere on this issue?
That's exactly my point. Where are our teachers in my first chapter? I say, where are our teachers? Magazines and books that turn out only tidbits of the puzzle? Or coaches and experts who don't even practice what they preach? And then you've got the schools and education programs. There's no emotion and love talk in there. It's all just wear condoms. And parents, of course, don't have sex. So there are no teachers. And who are our motivators and mentors? Right now it's the media and it's commercials and it's big corporate America pushing sex, just for the bottom line so that they can make a penny. And you and I are left confused and dazed wondering, well, who does open the door? Who does pay? Etc. So the laws helps clarify some basic, traditional, fundamental rituals of a man putting his woman first in his heart, in his mind, in his life, and ultimately in his bedroom. And when that happens, the woman says, honey, I am just overwhelmed by how you are treating me. I am going to turn and do the same for you. And let me give you a tip. When you close the bedroom door and you lock that door, you close the door to the world. In other words, there are no rules, there are no ads. I even suggest you remove any kind of commercially looking ads in the bedroom, so all you see are sheets, pillows, and a TV. Put a little piece of tape over that, that name brand on that television, just so you don't see any advertising in your bedroom.
Honey, no TV in a bedroom ever. Well, I do not think it's good. I mean, a lot of people like to watch porno and all that stuff. Not me, but I don't think TV's good.
Here's the rules with TV, okay? Only when it's hooked up to a DVD player or a VCR, so y'all can watch romantic love comedies in bed after y'all have had some rock and roll good time.
All right.
That's the only rule.
All right. Well, you know what? We have to take a little break because you're going to be hearing about my Secrets into the Minds of Men seminar that's coming up here in July. We have lots of men, and I think Bart is going to hopefully come down and be on our panel so you can meet him live. You can check out the book, Laws of the Bedroom, on lawsofthebedroom.com. And we're going to be right back with Bart to get a few more of the laws right after this little break. Please send me any questions you might have about sex, love, dating, and any challenges that you might be having to Renee at lovemechanics.com, and we'll be right back.
You're tuned in to Love Mechanics. We'll be right back.
You've seen it on TV. You've always wanted to go. It's called rapid dating. If you're a single person that's newly out there and not sure how to connect, why go out on a lot of bad blind dates or get on the internet and get frustrated when you can go to an event to meet between 15 and 20 singles in one night for a 5-minute date? There is no rejection. It's easy. It's fun. And people get delivered to your table for a 5-minute date. So go to rapiddating.com right now for events in Southern California and get lucky in love.
Welcome back to Love Mechanics. Here's Renee Piane.
And we're back here with Laws of the Bedroom, what men need to know about sex and pleasing a woman. And during the break, I was talking to Bart about like the whole beginning phases of romance and how some people jump into sex. And to me, I know from all the women in my seminars and all the men that I've been teaching so many years at the Learning Annex and the classes that I teach with my book, Love Mechanics, a lot of guys are they really feel a pressure to get laid quick. So, Bart, what do you have to say about romancing a woman slowly and how that increases the whole sexual energy?
Well, let's look at the entire ultimate goal of what we really want. And granted, we all want to be sexually involved with someone that we like, and we want that satisfaction of that activity. But we have to look at the whole picture. We have to look at emotions. We have to look at aftermath. We have to take a look at consequences. Protection, all these kinds of things. Anybody ever just rush right into a street with their car and not look both ways? Something's bound to happen. Same thing with sex. Okay, so another benefit of taking your time with the gal you just met, or with your present gal if you just started dating, or even if you're married, again, taking your time prolongs the feeling and joy that you are about to encounter. And there's even a great quote in my book that talks about expectation is actually sweeter than the act itself.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? So, and there's so many joys and benefits. And let's say you're dating for the first time, or you just met someone, or you want to meet someone. How cool is it, and so much better for you and for her, when you take your time and you actually show to be a relaxed man.
That is a big point. I always tell guys, if you really want to get booty, don't push for it.
Let it come to you.
Be more sensuous and caring and loving, and you can touch her but not push her into having sex, and she'll wonder, why isn't he coming on to me? Why doesn't he want booty? What's wrong?
And let me give you some rules right now. Number one, if you have to ask for it, if you have to reach, if you have to act or move physically or even with your words, then you're not doing something right. Because a lot of emotion and connection between a man and a woman is done with body language and underneath our conscious level. Okay? So if you are reaching for it, if you're even asking, so what are your views on? No. You're not even to ask her about sex or what her views on. You are going to find them out in time by asking her and conversating with her. Because when you do that, and as she naturally warms up to you and says, wow, this guy's, he's taking his time, he's respecting me, I got a lot of room and space to, what? Relax? Yes, relax. And isn't great sex about being in a relaxed state of mind anyway? Yeah. So again, think about the car rushing out in that street like that. No.
Well, I'm reading in part of your chapter, it's like, lead your own life and you'll be number one to her. There's nothing better to a woman than a man who has his own life that isn't needy. And I get calls, and as you guys have heard over the years, I get calls from guys that say, gosh, I went out with this woman, we jumped into bed the first or second date, it was smoking hot, we were drinking, and then suddenly she just doesn't call him anymore. She stops calling. And the guy starts panicking. He calls me, and I always tell him, just slow the whole thing down. Don't be needy. Don't rush. But that has a lot to do with really being your own man and not acting so desperate. So what do you suggest for guys that have screwed up and now want to get back and get the law down, get some rules down to get their dignity back? Because it says a lot of really great stuff here.
Well, the number one rule always is I'm going to be me, and I'm going to continually be me. I'm going to build me up with my career, my life, my virtues, my interests are, and the right woman will be attracted to me. In other words, I'm not going to chase, although we will chase naturally and instinctively. We will go out and seek and socialize, etc., with women, but I'm not going to, make it a large effort to, reach out and seek out someone and be that desperate kind. In other words, I am who I am, and I'm okay with or without meeting someone tonight. Mm-hmm. And that kind of relaxation, again, these words are creeping up again, that state of confidence says, hey, what's your name? Talk to me about yourself. Where you been? Where are you from? Where are you going? And we keep the conversation on her. We keep the conversation alive with topics that are of wonderful, fun, and friendly interest. And we let that. We've got to communicate. We've got to get to know each other first. And there are benefits with this. Imagine this. There's something I say in the chapter number 5 about what to do before sex. And there's something in there called telling stories of erotic adventures. Okay? Imagine, let's say you met someone, you didn't have time to go home with her that night, but you got her phone number. Now, for the next week or two, you're going to have conversations with her on the phone. And you say to her, hey, how would you like to go on a little adventure? She goes, what's that? And I go, an adventure is you and I going somewhere and just talking about maybe we're going to go to the Caribbean, or we're going to go to New York, or we're going to go to a trip somewhere, and I'm going to describe you and I holding hands, walking down the street, I'll pick you up in my car, etc. And guess what? When you start to get comfortable and relaxed, new discussions start opening up, if you know what I'm talking about. And before you know it, you learn, without being physically in her presence, you learn what she likes and what she dislikes.
That's true. Now, in my seminars, I talk about that a lot. People go online, they meet people, they see, I like to walk on the beach, I like to hold hands, but there's nothing sexier than a man's voice and making her have pictures and words that go together that paint a picture of you being a romantic man.
Right.
And also, women can do that to you too. I mean, there's nothing. I'm always teasing my husband all the time. I'm like, hey baby, tonight I'm going to be in the little pink number that you liked, and I'll see you in a couple hours, or I leave him little love notes, all that kind of teasing stuff. But women do it more often than men, and women are like upset, okay?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the men out there are not romantic. They're just not romantic. They expect us, and they get mad because they're visual, right? And they want women to get all dolled up and look like a little sex kitten. But without the romance or any kind of enticing, women are like, forget it. I work just as hard as you do. I have a job. I drive through traffic. We want to know that you're thinking about us and that it's important and it's fun. Like, hey, tonight, bubble bath, candles, and I'm gonna make you some dinner tonight. And she's thinking, wow. Now that's after you've been married or whether you're in a relationship. Or in the beginning, and that stuff, the guys have a tendency to do it in the beginning, and then it just poofters out. So what about the guys that are sitting there listening, like, yeah, right, my wife's so boring, she doesn't like sex anymore. How can you ignite somebody's fire again? What do you have to say?
Well, there's a lot of things. If there's routine and boredom in the bed, you definitely need to take a break from her, and she needs one from you. You need to sleep on the couch for a month. And I mean that. I mean, take a break. Just like your refrigerator. If your refrigerator was full with fresh stocked groceries, you're not going to eat them all in one night. Okay, you'd get sick, and you'd spoil all the money you just spent. If you lay next to your honey night after night after night after night after night, and it's always there, it becomes routine, it becomes boring. You start thinking about, oh, I'm not attracted to you anymore, etc. You need to take a break. I've always been a proponent for having 2 bedrooms, 2 master rooms in a house if you can or have. That way you have your place of refuge that you can go and hang out for a day or 2 or 3, and knock on the master room. I always give the woman the master room with a big walk-in closet and the 2 sinks and stuff. And you say, hey, can I sleep in your room tonight? She goes, oh yeah, totally, come on in. When it comes to these are laws, and the law says, guys, we're going to start taking our time, number 1. Number 2, we're going to start reprioritizing the priorities in our life. In other words, she's going to become number 1. My life with her is going to become number 1. I am number 1. And the fads, the tricks, the things that distract man's attention, whether it's sports or news or the job or the career, guys, I'm going to tell you something. We have only so much time in the day. We can spend it all on sports. We can spend it watching the news. We can play golf with our buddies. We can get into a music band or do something, or have a career that's taking us across the country because I have to travel a lot, whatever. It's your choice. But here are the dynamics. A woman needs her man by her side. She wants to be able to roll over and see him there. She wants to know if he's going to come home tonight because she might be wanting to make dinner. Or the roles are reversed, and maybe the man is going to be cooking the dinner tonight, so he's going to ask, honey, are you coming home tonight? Because I got dinner cooking, I just want to know. It's a two-way street. You get back what you put out.
The thing that I hear, a lot of people, they've been together 10, 12 years, it's not happening anymore. They're now single again. They are rusty. if they don't read books like this, if they don't get re-educated on what's happening and how everything moves so quickly these days, things have changed. But really, a lot of these laws of the bedroom are really about respect, about knowing yourself, and not being sexually uptight.
Yes.
And reading about sex and reading about what women really like. Guys have a tendency, and believe me, I've been in this business I'm like Hitch. I've been teaching men for 12 years. Most of you guys out there have such big friggin' egos that you don't want to admit that you might want to read something. You'll get the Wall Street Journal. You'll go spend thousands of dollars on golf clubs. But when it comes to the one sport that most men really have, like their job, get the most pleasure out of, sex, oftentimes you short sheet yourself on reading about it, okay? And I think, because I'm with men, every day in my career, I go do makeovers on them. I go to their house and redo their bedrooms. I'm like, you are not going to get laid in this bedroom. It's dirty. It's got scum all over. Bart has a whole chapter on preparing your room, just like I do in my book. And the thing is sex is so cool and so fun. It's like my favorite thing.
Mine
but
too.
You have to find, most of the men that I've dated in my past have all been very, very sensitive men and also very masculine at the same time. And there's a balance. And most really macho guys, very successful men, often they like it when they don't have to do much work. They just kind of lay back and expect some femme fatale just to wait on them, okay? If you want to have exciting sex and you want to have passion between you, there has to be some kind of an emotion. And longevity. Some men don't want longevity, Bart. This book is really about romancing a woman and pleasing a woman. It would be a great book for a single man, a married man, a man that wants to just up-level his romance, in any area, but especially in the bedroom. But more than that, it's becoming in tune with your own sexuality as a man. A lot of guys aren't that great in bed, according to the women that I talk to, and they need help. So you can look at all the porno you want. You can be home playing with yourself all you want. But until you learn and read and educate yourself and buy better sex videos or whatever to learn about the G-spot and all the different parts of a woman and the things you can do to a woman without even having sex with her that can make her so turned on, that she'll want to be all over you. And those are the things that married women complain of. Because what happens is the husband already has done all that. They've had kids. And then he stops. He stops romancing her. And all of us want romance. I don't care how old you are. And the couples that I see in my research and people that meet that are older have that joy, sort of that playfulness, that teasing, almost teenage romance still left inside of them. And men, when you get working, you're focused on one friggin' thing all day, and the romance thing just doesn't come into your mind.
I make mention in Laws of the Bedroom about reevaluate your career goals for you and your honey. I've been a consultant for 15 years. I've worked at home those 15 years, and I'll tell you something, I'm never going to leave my home. I always want to work in my home. Guess why? Because my honey's there. She also likes to work out of the home, too, because she has her own business. So before you know it, it's kind of like, you guys are at home. You don't have the pressures of the rush hour, getting up in the morning, crummy boss, overtime, underpaid, layoffs, and all the other BS that goes with that. I'm not kidding. Reevaluate your career goals, because you know what? Heartaches, heart attacks, and all the BS that comes with jobs and careers, it's not what it's cracked up to be. So there's a cool chapter in there on that.
Well, let's face it. Love, relationships takes a lot of different levels. Sex is one of them. But until you have your, really, in my book I talk about the phases of life you're in, the energy you project, where you live, where you work, who you hang out with. It all comes down to us wanting love and sex and companionship. The whole bottom line is we need it. It's a part of our daily, like you need food, you need water, you need love, and you need sex to live.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Now, some people might disagree. But if you want to find out more about laws of the bedroom and want to spice up your romantic life, I would suggest go to lawsofthebedroom.com, check out Bart Smith's book, What Men Need to Know About Sex and Pleasing a Woman. And I'd like to hear your comments on any of this because, everybody people get, I've gotten some emails from people that are very religious, and they really believe that you should be married before you have sex at all. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs, and I think that this book really does talk really about this being with a significant other, and also give you tips if you are in a relationship that's been long ongoing. So it covers a lot of areas, and I think it would be good for any person, to have, because let's face it, we all want love. That's why I like to give all these tools. I'm not the only person out here giving tools. There's lots of great advice, but most of it comes down to communication, to being open about who you are and really getting to know who you are and not follow the trends of what everybody else does.
Be your own man.
Yeah, be your own man.
Be your own man.
Any final words, Bart, before we sign off?
I just want to thank you, Renee. And again, guys, be who you are. Invest in you. And be respectful and polite to every woman you come across. Start with your mother. Buy her flowers when she least expects it. And that will start cultivating the kind of man, the romantic man inside of you, that when you meet a gal, or you're with a gal, or you've been with a gal, and there's a dry spell, you can surprise her by saying, honey, I've just reevaluated my life. And I am now going to make you my number one gal in my life, starting now, and here's what I'm going to do about it. Watch me go, go, go. Come here, kiss me, etc. But listen, do that, because when you are 90 years old, you'll look back and you'll say, God, I remember all those news programs I watched in the sports. But really, no, I don't remember, because, well, I spent all my time with my honey. And to me, she was my sport.
Well, like I said, love and sex are most of people's favorite sport. I know it is for women. We are trained completely differently to expect a lot from men, and unfortunately, men don't seem to want to learn as quickly. And that's why right now in the world, there's books popping up everywhere. You're not going to be queer or insecure. And if a woman finds this in your house, she's going to be like, wow, this guy really must be good.
Specifically, what Laws of the Bedroom will teach you are 5 main areas. Self-improvement for the man inside you, heart, soul. That's 80 pages of self-improvement information. The next chapter is safeguards, precautions, and warnings, my friend, and you need to know what they are. Then it comes into romancing your honey like she's never been romanced before. 20 pages of romantic bullets that you can digest and then give right back to her. Then there's what to know and do before sex, during, and the during chapter is 60 pages of specifics you need to know. And then the after sex, specifically what to do after sex. It is exactly what every man needs.
Well, Bart, I'm so happy that you're here, and I brought the book home, and my husband's like, is this a hint? And I said, no, it's just, I'm doing an interview with the guy that wrote it. So I'm always coming home with all these books and, paraphernalia that people send me. So if anybody out there is an author or has a product or service that you do that you'd like to be on the show, please call me. My office number is 310-656-7099. If you want to do a private coaching session or you would like to be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at Renee at Love Mechanics. We're very appreciative you came here. And again, you'll be able to see Bart's picture, and his website will be up on the web on rapiddating.com. You can see our podcast and Bart and click to the link, or just go straight to Laws of the Bedroom. So I'm going to be practicing some of your laws. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yummy.
And I'm going to leave the book out so my husband can pick it up, although he is very, very romantic. So for all you romancers out there, this is Renee Piane signing off. Thank you very much to Bart again, Laws of the Bedroom.
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
I will be back next week, and hopefully my voice will be back. Actually, I kind of like my sexy voice. It's part of the Laws of the Bedroom, talk sexy. So until next week, keep loving. Lots of love to you, because love works, and I hope to see you at some of my events and seminars. Just go to www.rapiddating.com, and I'll talk to you next week.